Hello and welcome all. My name is AJ Gupta. I'm the senior consultant to Huawei in the Datacom products group. Today we're going to talk about Wi-Fi 6. As you know, Wi-Fi 6 standard is almost ratified. The commercial products have appeared on the market. In fact, some of the cell phones released just recently have got Wi-Fi 6 connectivity. So the question that's actually grappling the minds of CIOs and CTOs, how should they plan for Wi-Fi 6? What should be their strategy when it comes to digital transformation? Can Wi-Fi 6 live up to its hype? What happens to the Internet IoT strategy? So to answer all of these questions, it's my pleasure to invite two of the industry veterans here. I'm joined by Rohit Mehra, the Vice President of Network Infrastructure at IDC, and also from Huawei, Osama, who's the chair of A22.11ax. So without any further delay, I'm going to hand it over to Rohit to look at the market and what's going on in the marketplace. Rohit?
Thank you, AJ. It is indeed my pleasure to join you and Osama for this webinar where the topic for today certainly is top of mind for me and for a lot of industry watchers as well as enterprise IT professionals in terms of where and how to start with Wi-Fi 6 and for some even when to start with Wi-Fi 6. So certainly from an enterprise wireless standpoint, I do feel that Wi-Fi 6 brings a new era in enterprise networking and specifically enterprise wireless. So I'll just jump into some of the content that I have for you for folks who are listening in to this webinar today. I want to start about just taking a step back and looking at what the industry is walking through in terms of the digital transformation steps that many CIOs are considering on a regular basis, and what this means from a network perspective. As I have said many times before as well, for most enterprise IT organizations, digital transformation is a major step forward in terms of enabling the enterprise to really leverage some of the digital aspects and really embrace them from a business standpoint. But I've also seen that the network needs to transform if digital transformation needs to have and provide the right results. So from that perspective, I would think that the network, I do consider that to be a foundational layer to enable secure, scalable, and efficient use of all the cloud and edge applications that are becoming pervasive in the enterprise, and increasingly IoT applications as well. So from a connectivity standpoint, sure, the network needs to provide and optimize that connectivity and provide a secure platform so that the enterprise can really provide that good best-of-breed application experience. But from a network, if we go deeper into what is happening with the network and what kind of requirements is the industry seeing, the slide that is in front of you now, it basically provides a three-dimensional view of some of the network requirements as we see them emerge. The industry is looking for really fast and adaptive networks, and in many cases, on-demand capacity. You're also seeing with the advent of cloud applications that the edge to cloud latency is starting to have a major impact as well. And from that perspective, network level latency is becoming equally important. Then, of course, from an analytics perspective, the ability to provide new insights from your wireless network is another key aspect of what the network needs to provide. And then, of course, from an industry perspective, look at some of the applications. we are seeing virtual reality play a significant role in some of the new age applications that enterprises are deploying. In education, in shopping, in travel and leisure, and even in healthcare, where telemedicine is starting to make inroads, we see the network playing an increasingly important aspect of technology. From a financial industry standpoint, and even from a cloud, back to the same discussion about cloud, we are seeing applications where latency in milliseconds is becoming an important aspect. So if we thought of in the good old days, a few seconds wait was not a big deal. Today, 5 to 10 to 15 milliseconds is the kind of wait that any application is going to require to be able to provide that good user experience with the many applications, cloud or IoT applications that we have come to expect. So from that perspective, moving on to this next slide that you see in front of you, I think of cloud and edge IoT as two key major industry advancements that are actually making the need for pervasive Wi-Fi even higher, and providing that impetus for networking professionals to go to the next step when it comes to Wi-Fi and other networking technologies. So as you see on the left, cloud, the increased use of enterprise cloud applications and SaaS applications has really made this a key industry requirement where any remote user, whether you are in an enterprise branch or remote or any off-site location, you want near instant access to your SaaS applications. And again, you want these access to be secure along with high bandwidth access for an enhanced user experience. Now switching to the other side of the coin, when you start looking at IoT applications at the edge, the digital transformation use cases are actually quite a few, and they continue to emerge on a regular basis in recent times. So when it comes to whether it's healthcare, mining, manufacturing, there's lots of IoT applications that are in many cases mission critical. They do require a resilient, low latency application experience, and therefore that has been the big driving factor for continued innovation on the Wi-Fi side. And of course, we moved through many standards over the years, and I'll talk about that in a second, that the drivers are definitely in place as innovation brings newer and newer capabilities to wireless networks. There's increasing use cases that keep coming forward, and the industry, of course, stands to benefit from these newer innovations. So just to give you a quick recap, I won't belabor this too much, but for those of us who have been in the industry for long enough, certainly I've seen the evolution of various Wi-Fi standards over the last decade and a half or so. If we just go back, I won't take you too far back, but if I look at the market for 802.11n technologies, when that was sort of fourth generation Wi-Fi in the 2000 to 2007 to 2009 timeframe, and it was both in the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. That was the first introduction the industry saw for MIMO, and watchers believed that that would be the standard for a long time to come. But lo and behold, a few years down the road, we saw the emergence of AC Wave 1, which actually broke the gigabit Wi-Fi barrier for the first time, and it allowed multiple streams, Wi-Fi streams, to a single user. More recently, the standards have evolved to Wave 2, which, by the way, is the de facto standard in the industry today. Most enterprises have been leveraging that, and it's deployed fairly widely. Whether you go to any university or large public venues, you're going to see really hundreds or thousands of clients all supporting Wave 2 today. And the key benefits of Wave 2, of course, were the ability to have multiple download streams to multiple clients, and all clients getting the benefits of that capacity at the same time. The one downside, of course, was that Wave 2 provided wireless in the 5 gigahertz band only. So it did meet some of the requirements, but again, it wasn't quite universal in terms of the vast requirements that we are seeing in the industry. So when you start looking at dense requirements, we feel that even with AC